Yo, Wargamers, what's going on, guys? Brother Stevanius here. This is Command Centre Wargaming. Fantastic, guys. So, look, it's been a pretty busy week this week, and we've had a lot of news in the hobby. Now, before I start, just want to let you know, I will be announcing should be announcing the draw for the Xmas New Year subscriber draw tomorrow. I should be doing that tomorrow, so stay tuned for the channel for that. And there will be a video for that and instructions and stuff down there, and it's available to subscribers only. I haven't quite put the nail on it, but at the moment I think what it will be is it will be a $50 Games Workshop gift voucher. The channel's made around about the same, so I'll give that back to you guys. As I said I would. Unfortunately, YouTubers don't make as much as what I actually thought that they did on the lower end anyway, or at least from ads. So, whatever, guys, I'm giving it back what we got. So it's all good. And we'll probably do it. We'll basically go through and it'll be the usual thing. Comment on the video, not this video, the other video. We'll probably go through and, or maybe comment on, there might be another video to comment on, maybe that Space Marine tutorial. I don't know. I'll work it out. I'll let you know tomorrow in that video what I finally decide to do about that. But stay tuned to the channel, guys, tomorrow. Most likely, probably in the evening, Australian evening time, that will be coming up. Get home from work and things like that, so it's all good. So yeah, what have I been up to, guys? I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of painting work. Finished one of these contemptors up. I've got a Dynat on the way, which is about 70% done, and I've been putting this together, which is a fell blade, which actually it's assembled now. It's a fell blade, super heavy. Absolutely love this tank. This is ready to be undercoated and start the painting. So I've just been working pretty hard to get the hobbying done, get the painting done, get some more Alpha Legion done. Got the base for Dynat coming along really well there, and this is pretty cool too. This is like a bit of a hobby light I picked up from I think it was Lincraft in Australia. It was about $80. So if you're into a really cool hobby light, you can see here. Oh man, that wasn't such a good idea. But it's a really cool light. Yeah, really helping me out there. Sometimes it gets a bit darker at night or whatever, and I just find the good old room light, isn't doing it for me. And outside isn't so bright because it's nighttime. But anyway, that's me, guys. Just a few announcements there. We've got a little bit to cover in this video, and we're going to be going through it. So first of all, we got the prominent news, which is the new Psychic Awakening Sorcerous Schemes, okay, which is Magnus coming back. We'll get into that in a second. Then I'm going to just give you some thoughts on this new vehicle we got. I know it came out a few days ago, guys, but I wasn't able to actually grab up on video, so I just want to say a few things about it. And then I'll just touch on these Terminators just really quickly that came out at the start of the week. I think they're really cool, but we'll talk about it in a second. So basically, the big news for today is basically that we have another component of the Psychic Awakening, and it's confirmed that Magnus is up to his old shenanigans. Now, basically, what it is, and I absolutely love this, guys. I think, a lot of the times I've slammed Games Workshop on their writing, but this is one of the times where I'm actually going to give them super high praise. I'm really liking where this is going. I'm thinking like the writing in this sort of campaign, in this narrative, is really awesome. Like, it's really well thought out. It's not like the whole, Trivanch of the Primarch or whatever it is, where, sort of like Gilliman gets woken up by a Lord of the Rings party and, it's kind of crappy. This is actually, I feel it's very well thought out. You've got the main antagonists of this section of the story, which is the Thousand Sons, and they're up against the good guys, who are the counter psychers, which are the Grey Knights and the Dark Angels. And the Dark Angels, they're full of secrets. They're very secretive, and so are the Grey Knights. Grey Knights will go through, and after they've done operations with anyone, especially guardsmen and stuff, they will actually kill or destroy the whole force that they worked with, just to guard the secret that they were actually there. So they're quite brutal. Now, I think that's quite interesting because, you know, after this campaign, after this kind of narrative, you know, wouldn't that be crazy to see like a skirmish, you know, break out between the Dark Angels and then the Grey Knights? You know, the Grey Knights coming, because they're working together now, obviously, if you haven't got that part. But basically, Grey Knights come out and they're like, okay, yeah, we've done it, we've stopped the Thousand Suns, whatever. And now, like, you know, we're going to have to cleanse the Dark Angels, the forces that we worked with. And the Dark Angels is just like, nah, bitch, no way. And then they just have a bit of a skirm. I think that'd be pretty epic. I don't think it will happen because it sort of heads into sort of, you know, traitor territory. But it's still pretty cool nonetheless. You know, and I think it's awesome. But you know what? With all this going on, with all the Dark Angel stuff going on, we've got the new hero and everything, you know, the Primaris hero, a character hunter. You know, like, what a time, what an opportunity to bring the Lion back. Like, even if it's just in the 30k, as a 30k model, you've got new releases coming out there for, you know, for 30k as well, left, right, and center for the Lion. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic lead up, I feel, to the Lion. But awesome. So anyway, back to the meat and potatoes. So Magnus is basically, you know, on this sort of little mini Black Crusade, if you will. And he is pretty pissed off. He's been pissed off for a while. He was dogged pretty badly. And I actually really like this narrative because it's kind of like, you know, you can understand that Magnus the Red, you know, he'd be pretty pissed off. He was pretty hard done by in the Horus Heresy. He kind of was, you know, he didn't have to turn to chaos. It was like there was all these events that just went down, you know, which sort of tricked him into turning to chaos, which I guess kind of like a lot of them. Alfarius, even Horus himself. It was the way a lot of the Primarchs turned. But he would have stayed loyal. You know, but, you know, the Space Wolves came after him. They were misinformed by Horus, and, you know, and it was a lot of misdirection going on. Then the Emperor, you know, it was just a big mess. So I kind of feel with, you know, with Magnus the Red, he's kind of like always the guy who he's sort of been put in this situation. And he's fighting this battle out of vengeance of what was done to him and done to his legion. But it's kind of like, you know, the whole RoboCop split thing where he's like, you know, he's bad, but he kind of doesn't want to be bad. It's more that he has to be bad now. It's more that he's been forced into this situation. You know, where like circumstances have like that Magnus has been put in have actually forced him into having to take this, you know, bad stance. Whereas, you know, a lot of the other Primarchs, you know, they sort of just went bad, like, you know, Fulgrim. He just went, you know, he was like, went bad after he basically knocked the demon out, reclaimed his body. And he just decided, look, man, we're going to do this, you know, let's do it, biatches, you know, so all good. But anyway, so he's basically coming back, doing like a bit of a sort of a mini Black Crusade of his own. And what he's actually managed to do is he's managed to go through and he's managed to pull his sorcerer planet out from out of the warp, okay, and pull it out sort of like to where Prospero used to be. And I believe the sorcerer's planet is called Soritarius, I think. Sorry if I've butchered that. But basically, yeah, and he's pulled it out. And so now we've got Prospero sitting there. And we've got the Soritarius basically up there near the planet. Okay, sort of like, you know, it's basically orbiting Prospero now, which I think is epic. So it's kind of like his little vengeance march kind of thing that he's putting on, the good old Crimson King. And what he's doing, he's basically, you know, getting his, you know, uniting the clans. He's finding all the Thousand Suns that are scattered around the galaxy still. Some of them got lost. He's recruiting new Thousand Suns, you know, chapters and cultists and war bands into the main core, and it looks like he's planning a very, very big assault. And I remember some videos from before, and where they were sort of Magnus was sort of like talking and all that kind of stuff was before the Abaddon model came out, and they actually had Ahriman basically, you know, and Magnus there talking and stuff like that. But this is obviously, you know, Games Workshop have been leading on up to this for a while, and I think it's really cool because you've got the whole Vigilus sort of attack, and that's like one, you know, one sort of arc, one direction, one flank, and then you've got, you know, this sort of new, you know, Magnus the Red sort of psychic attack or psychic awakening, which is another flank, and there, you know, so it's like Chaos are really making a push into the galaxy. It's not just Abaddon, you know, everybody's kind of just making a hard push. It's like the Imperium are there, and it's like, you know, we've got them, they're down, let's smack them while they're down, you know. So, so basically, yeah, so, you know, he's basically coming through and he's uniting all the clans and stuff down, all the outcasts, all the psychic outcasts, is getting them together. And, you know, the basics of it is the Grey Knights and Angels have teamed up to stop him. Now, Ultramarines probably engaged on Vigilus or cleaning up after Vigilus or whatever is going. But that's essentially the story, and that's the canvas stage that's been set for us. And as the end dialogue says here, or the end narrative says here, what is Magnus up to? What is the ritual that he has planned? So he's preparing a ritual. Can the combined forces of Dark Angels and Grey Knights stop him? Right, you'll be able to explore the ongoing battles, etc., 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 and in another Psychic Awakening. And I think it's awesome because, you know, I wonder what Magnus is doing. Could he be summoning maybe Angron? Don't know. But I think it's awesome because he's definitely up to something. And if Magnus is doing something really big, then it gives the opportunity. It sort of like starts to pave the way for the Loyalists to bring another Primarch back. Like, you know, the Lion comes out, like back from out of the shadow, or back from under the rock, you know, and starts cutting sick. You know, so it really is setting up something big. I think 2020 is going to be a big year for Warhammer. Last year was a big year too, but I think the year before that was a bit bigger. The year before that was pretty huge, right? We had like Gilliman, we had the Custodes. The Custodes for me is like that was like a massive, you know, bringing those guys, giving them, you know, their own little mini codex in 40k. It was absolutely fantastic in my opinion. And all that. And I mean, we got the Sisters of Battle. You know, I mean, look, you know, I get the Sisters of Battle. I'm cool with them. The good old Ecclesiarchy. They're not, you know, I'm not exactly going to drop a couple of grand on a you know, 2,000 point army of them. But for those of you who are into them, that's awesome. I got a Saint Celestine. I'll probably get a few infantry squads and that just to marry in. I'm thinking about doing when my Alpha Legion's sort of finished, I'm thinking about expanding my Imperial Guard army, Death Corps Krieg, which I think would be cool. My Imperial Guard army already has kind of like a World War II baddie theme anyway, so all the camouflage is kind of like Wehrmacht sort of you know, stuff, so it's awesome. And I think that having the you know, the Death Corps Krieg in there would be really good. So moving on to this tank here, so it's the Legion Arquitor Bombard with Spicular rocket system. I think, you know, the rocket system looks more like a mortar system or like a depth charge system or something like that. And I really like the idea. I like the idea of a mortar tank. I like the way sort of Forge World, Games Workshop / Games Workshop are thinking, you know, I like their direction. They're trying to think of new stuff. They're trying to give us something a little bit new. I do like that. I like that a lot. However, I'm pretty mediocre on the tank. I don't dislike it, you know. I think it's okay. But whenever I look at it, I just can't help seeing that, you know, it just looks like someone's basically gone and tried to put together a Sakaran Venator and stuck the cockpit on the wrong way and got the front mixed up with the back. Like, you know, some 6-year-old's just gotten the two side pieces and then just, you know, stuck that other piece the other way around. Like, it looks to me like, you know, someone has made a modelling effort, rather than, you know, the Astartes using a design philosophy and things like that. And I can sort of understand, you know, it's the end of the war, you know, like coming to the end of the war, you know, they've got to improvise the technology and stuff, and I get all that, you know, but again, like whenever I look at this, it just looks like the whole, you know, it's literally just a Sakaran Venator, you know, side plate, with a little piece of, you know, armor just slapped over that sort of wheel part. I mean, that's what it looks like to me anyway. I could be wrong. I've got a Venator up the back there, or a Sakaran up the back there. You know, so, you know, that's just me. I do like this component. I like the idea of it. I think it's good. I'm not going to go getting the whole rules side of things. I'll leave that to like the Outer Circle, right? You know, he did a pretty good video on that. So, you know, go watch that one because like he nailed it. But I just basically wanted to give some of my thoughts on design, the overall aesthetic of it. The smoke launchers, I think they're okay. You know, everything looks okay. It just doesn't look like a military vehicle as much as what it looks like maybe some kind of like terraformer or sort of construction vehicle, or, you know, kind of reminds me of like the terraformer vehicle from Aliens. Just something about it, you know, it just doesn't work 100% with me. And although I don't think it's, you know, the most ugliest thing that Forge World have ever done, I just feel as though it's a bit cheap in terms of like how they went about it. You know, like they could have gone through, they could have maybe used, you know, the same CAD parts and just change some things up, not just use like literally the same bloody thing and, you know, stuck another part in the middle. And, you know, I think it's a bit cheesy, you know. But hopefully the back parts of that tank, you know, will have less slippage on the molds there, because I know when I got my Sakar and I got another 3 coming, basically up the back there, it's where the key goes in from the mold, where like the resin filters in. And, you know, you have to do a lot of work up the back there. Anyone who's ever put like one of those together knows that stuff can get really, really messy up the back there. But I don't know. Maybe it's a different mold. Maybe it's a different cast. I don't know. Looks the same to me. You know, yeah. Just, yeah, if anyone's got one, let me know how it is. Did you have to do any cleanup work there or not? All right, cool. Now, we'll just talk about these. Bit of old news. Just give my thoughts on it, though, because I didn't cover it, and I wanted to cover it. First of all, excellent Dark Angels are getting releases. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I say from here. Not that it would matter anyway. It's just my bloody opinion. But, you know, even though I'm not 100% on these guys, I think that it's nothing a slight conversion won't fix. And it's just fantastic that we got like Dark Angels stuff rocking out. And like I said before, it just sort of shows me that, like, you know, Games Workshop are sort of, you know, maybe gearing up for a Lion Primarch or something like that. I'm pretty good with all of it. I'm pretty good with all this stuff. The only thing that I'm a little bit iffy on, and let me know, you know, what's more important for me is that, you know, the Dark Angels players are happy. I like Dark Angels. I got a Dark Angels force. Still got to paint most of it. But what's more important for me is that you guys are happy, and if you guys love them, I'm happy. You know, and I really like this sort of design here. I love that red. I think it's a really cool contrast with the red. I'm just not 100% big on the mask here. I think it looks a little bit too sort of medieval. I love that lion sort of like crest here. I love everything else. I think it's just a helmet. I would change it out for even like an old sort of cataphracti, or, you know, or even just a Taratos pattern helmet, and I think that would be bang on. But like I said, guys, it's nothing a bit of conversion won't fix. The other thing that I wasn't 100% on, and I'm sure there's pentagram things going on here. Maybe it's something that I've missed in, you know, Dark Angels lore. I do apologize if I have. Maybe someone like Lions can fill me in on that. Swords look great. Everything looks great here. Once again, just the masks on these ones. I'm just going to click on there to get a better thing. I don't mind that mask. But I don't know, something about that one. Just that sort of helmet. It's a little bit too medieval. You know, a little bit too sort of knighty. It's something that I expect to see in like, you know, fantasy or Age of Sigmar. You know, I get that the weapons, they've got the archaic weapons, all this kind of stuff. I get that. But I just think that it's a little bit too sort of medieval. And then these guys, I said, look great, except for, once again, the masks. The hoods are there, you know. I think the commander's head's okay. That's fine. I like his little beard there. And once again, swap that out. Mask is crap. Everything else is great. And the only other gripe I've got with this commander is, or, you know, sergeant or terminator captain, whatever you call him. The only other gripe, and it's just nitpicking, guys. It's not, you know, sort of like a big deal, not an issue. I might even get a pair of these guys to run, you know, with my Alpha Legion, because we can, in Alpha Legion in 30k, we can basically run any elite, you know, from any other chapter, which is fantastic, which is why I really love Alpha Legion as well. They also look awesome, but it basically, I can run like Red Butchers if I want. I can run, you know, Justicarian Terminators. You know, I can run these guys. So, but it's just these sort of like wings here. I just feel as though a little bit too paddly, a little bit too stuck on, a little bit too, you know, like, I think, you know, more of that streamlined sort of like wing would have been nice. But at the same time, I mean, I suppose that stuff's going down in 40k. So, you know, it's fine. Like, these models are fine. I'd buy some. Just swap the helmets out on a couple of them, you know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, guys. I'll leave the video here for today. We do have other videos coming. I've got a how to make Gilliman Blue tutorial glaze, that paint that Games Workshop discontinued. I've got a bit of a video coming up on that. We've also got more tutorials coming up on that. We've got more. I might show you a bit more of this Fellblade as well. A few other things. Some Green Stuff World products need to be reviewed. Although, I don't know, I'm a bit scared of that now. They might come after me. Everybody remembers that stuff that just went down. I didn't comment on that, guys, because, you know, like, what for? You know, what can you do? You know, these companies are just going to they're just going to do what they do, really. Yeah, fantastic. All right, everybody, fantastic. This is Brother Stevanius signing off. Keep rolling, and for the Emperor.